So let's discuss value in lighting. Let's take these shapes that we've been working on and put them into a three-dimensional lighting situation. So let's take a look at this demonstration that I've prepared to discuss with you how light works and how light interacts with an object and how we can portray it quickly in a sketch. So the first thing I want to do is establish a light source. Now because I drew this, I've already determined that my light source is right here. So I'm going to draw a little light right here, and we'll just simply label that light source. Now when light travels, it travels in a straight line. So this is our light. We need to establish that that light is coming down. So think of it in your mind's eye, and the light is perpendicular to the light source, meaning here's your light source. This is 90 degrees, so this light is coming out perpendicular, and it stops right there. So with that, we can also look at the idea of, well, where does a shadow start and stop? So if you can see, I have a schematic here. I'm going to work on both of these at the same time. If I put a light source right here, and I draw a light coming out of it, we can agree that this entire half is in light, and this half is in shadow. But where do we determine where this is? Well, what this is, it's where the shadow starts. So the shadow is always perpendicular to the light source as well. Again, 90 degrees. But where does the shadow start? We can agree that this is 90 degrees and perpendicular to the light source. So is this, 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 and this. So if we know our shadow starts perpendicular to the light source, how do we determine where does it start? Because it could be any one of these. Well, we determine that this way. Let's draw some more light. As this light travels down, like so, not only does it tell you where your shadow begins and ends and where it lives, it also shows you what's called tangent to the form, meaning this light is just touching right here. This light comes down and just touches our outer sphere right there. To put it in 2D terms, here's our light source. The tangent is right there, and it will be right there as this light travels down. So all of this is illuminated in the light. So now we have determined that our shadow will live perpendicular to the light source right there. So we can just simply erase the lines that I laid down to explain how this shadow is perpendicular. Now we know that not only is it perpendicular, but we know where. Tangent to the form. Right, this is where the light is tangent. Now this circle, right, that's become a sphere, if we were to chop it in half, it would look similar to an orange. And think of slices in an orange right there, and that's wrong. So that's in half. So this sphere cuts this way. So this line that's tangent to the form actually starts to cut across and around the form, but it still starts and stops right there at that tangency. So we'll just erase this away. And we know that that shadow starts right here. So let's label these things. Everything that is right here is in shadow. This shadow is called a form shadow. Why? because this shadow is on the form of the sphere. The shadow is there because light cannot come and just turn around like so and illuminate the back of the sphere. Light travels in a straight line. It doesn't curve around. So once again, all of this area is in light and all this area is in dark because light can't bend to get to it. Now this is also a shadow right here. It's the shadow that is cast by the form, the sphere, onto the table, the flat surface. This shadow is referred to as a cast shadow. So these are just two different types of shadows. Now, also while we're discussing a cast shadow, please note that a cast shadow will be the sharpest, the closest to the form that it is. So this section of our shadow is much closer to the sphere, so it will have a sharpness to it. As this shadow pulls away from the form, the sphere, it will begin to delineate, become fuzzier, and it will actually get just a little bit lighter as it moves away from the form. So we look for it to be fuzzier and a little bit lighter further away, and we look for it to be darker and much crisper and sharper the closer it is to the form. Now, another part of the shadow, when referring to the form shadow, is right at that point of tangency where the shadow begins is typically a darker area, as you see right through here. This darker area is referred to as the core shadow. It's also referred to as the terminator. You'll find both of these terms in drawing books, and both are fine to use, either core right through here or your terminator. Now, as this light comes shooting down, notice that there's a point of tangent right all along where our terminator or core is. That's where that light hits it, and then it can no longer come around and illuminate the back side or shadow side. And where the light ends, it shows you the shape of your shadow. Light will even come behind, right, and hit right here, come behind the sphere and hit right here. Right, there's your point of tangency, that core. So right here, we've discussed that light will not bend back around. However, light will hit a table or a surface, and it will actually bounce back in a straight line and can reflect back. So typically, right through here, you will find what is referred to as reflective light. Right, so that is reflective light. When we pull out of here, we get into what's called midtone. Some books refer to this as dark midtone and light midtone. And then we get into the idea of what's called a highlight. This highlight can be diffused if the sphere has a matte surface, and it can also be a much sharper highlight if the sphere is more glossy, and typically right in the middle of that will be your strongest point of light, and that is referred to as your specular highlight. Now I'm going to add a different color here just so we make sure we understand that specular highlight can be quite important, and it creates a lot of contrast and pop in a drawing. That is actually where the light ray is coming down, hitting the surface of the sphere, and actually bouncing off and into the viewer's eyeball. So have you ever looked at someone with a pair of glasses or perhaps a shiny bumper? As you move and walk around that individual with the shiny glasses or that bumper that you're looking at, and that specular highlight will move. Well, it moves because every time you move, your eye finds another angle and another piece of light that is bouncing off and going into your eyeball. These are basic concepts on lighting, of value, and shading. And understanding these simple concepts will help you draw and portray things as an artist or a designer so much better. And it will allow you to get your point across better to the viewer, as well as creating interesting depth and form. So if we take a look at this and I just wipe it down and wipe it off, we go back to our original sphere. We see we have our specular highlight, we have our highlight or diffused highlight. We pull into our midtone, dark midtone. Here we have our core, or terminator as I like to call it. Here is our little bit of reflective light. And of course all of this lives in the form shadow. And this represents our cast shadow, which must remain tighter and sharper right through here, closer to the object, and it will delineate and get diffused further it is from the object. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Hi, I'm Jonathan Simon, and in this course, I'm going to teach you how to draw.
Would you like to learn how to draw more effectively in order to produce beautiful and interesting drawings, as well as functional and aesthetically pleasing designs? Maybe you are a graphic designer who wants to add the drawing process to your workflow. Whether you are working on logos, editorial layouts, or digital productions such as websites or app designs. Maybe you are not a designer but want to communicate more effectively in visual form. Drawing is a skill that can be used in many different careers and not just design. For example, the various types of composition included in this course, including the rule of thirds, formal and informal subdivision, focal point, rotational symmetry, and the many other types of composition can be applied in drawings, but also designs and even photography. Drawing as part of the design process is something taught at prominent art schools, and it is used at various prestigious design agencies to this day. Drawing can be used as part of the brainstorming stage, the sketching stage, and even later parts of the design process. In this course, you will learn how to apply effective mark-making techniques, gesture drawing, value with shading and lighting, effective methods for drawing various shapes and forms, structural drawing, product sketching, the fundamentals of drawing the head and the face, drawing in perspective, and much more. By the time you have completed this course, you will have produced various drawings and designs that you could add to your portfolio. When you improve your drawing skills, you open the door to many more design possibilities. Producing beautiful drawings and interesting designs can be fun, but it can also be financially rewarding when you use it during your career or as part of freelance design work. This course comes with over 10 hours of helpful video demonstrations, from structural drawings to product sketches, to applying many different types of composition and drawings and logo designs, to many other types of drawings. The Drawing for Designers PDF book is also included with enrollment, which has 108 pages of content, including historical background and further explanation of some of the drawing methods, worksheet pages to print out or draw, support file photos, and additional exercises. You also get access to all the photo reference support files and access to our critique forum and community in the Drawing for Designers Facebook group after enrollment. Once you enroll, you have lifetime access so you can complete the course at your own pace as you improve your drawing and sketching skills. Please check out the other free sample videos on this course landing page for more information.
I'm Jonathan, a professional artist and educator. I've been teaching students how to draw for many years now. As a university professor of drawing and painting, I've had a lifetime career in art, from graphic design to illustration to digital illustration. Before becoming a full-time artist, commercially my work and illustrations have been published on various magazine covers, advertisements, and commissioned for various companies. Some of my art has been featured in prominent galleries throughout the United States. In this course, my professional experience and education will provide you with expert guidance as you improve your drawing skills. My goal is to equip you with the skills and knowledge you need to produce amazing drawings. Jump on in the course and start drawing today. Get feedback from me and your peers as you build your skills and your portfolio. I offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, so if you're not satisfied, you can get a refund. But I know you'll love this course as you start to produce beautiful drawings. So don't wait. Join today, and I'll see you in this course.